defend South Vietnam. No U.S. troops there, but they did use U.S. naval and air forces and logistics support. I was one of them naval forces. So what happened was in April, I got a call that says on Thursday midnight, on Monday morning, you're going to Vietnam. So we packed up, loaded up the ammunition on this ship, USS Berkeley. It's a guided missile destroyer of the Adams class, 4,500 tons, about 350 men, two 5-inch guns, and we headed off across the pond to Vietnam. On the way over, in order to practice, because we knew that this was not like any other deployment. This was going to be a shooting war. We were going to actually be in gunfights. So what happened was that we were in column with another ship, and they would shoot out to one side or the other, and we were supposed to be standing there, you know, just ready to go, and we'd see a perf, and then we try to shoot it, right? Well, what I did was I looked and I could see which side the barrel was on, so I would turn my gun director first so that I could get over there quicker and beat them at their speed. Because I figured that once we got there, I would know what side of the ship Asia was on. So, yeah, I didn't feel like I was really cheating. So, when we got to Vietnam, they sent us straight into combat. And I was really surprised. I expected, you know, a few days of this, that, or the other thing, some administrative stuff, and it didn't happen. If you look over here, does this work? No, yeah, there, you can barely see it. Okay, that map is Vietnam. Okay, Vietnam is this big S, and North Vietnam is the curve in, South Vietnam is the curve out. And this whole map, if you can see this, represents North Vietnam, because that's where our action was. At that time, they were limiting the amount of strikes. They said that the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Navy could strike into North Vietnam from only a little way up. Down there is the demilitarized zone, down at the very end. And so we first started coming in right down there towards South Vietnam. Wasn't too much opposition at that time, but here's how the first one went. The way we did these things was night operations, and at night we would go in, line abreast, and be charging in, and it'd be all dark and everything, and our ships, all our lights would be out and everything, and then we would turn right or left depending on what the plan was. And then our guns would aim at a map coordinate target. We would shoot at that. And then if they shot back, I would take over because I lived here. That's the gun director, where you optically and physically aim the guns and shoot them. Otherwise, they were being done by radar and by computers. But then I would take over and I would shoot back at the artillery that was shooting us. Well, the first time it happened, we made that turn, and the ship behind me, USS Larson, which was an old World War II destroyer, blew up. Boom! And I turned around, I looked at it, I skillfully destroyed my night vision by looking at it. And my God, dude, what happened? Did they hit a mine? I know nobody's shooting at us. And no, what had happened was that their guns were shooting the smokeless powder. They were shooting daytime powder, not the nighttime powder that doesn't have much of a flash. So the big flash that they put on was so big, it destroyed my night vision. So from then on, I didn't look at it. Our ship had a slightly different type of gun, had something called universal powder, didn't make as much of a flash. So, fortunately, that raid, they didn't shoot at us because I was scared to death. I just don't want to screw up. That's the main thing. I don't want to screw up. And I thought somebody had blown up, and so it was just a mess. But the second time they did shoot back, and when they did, okay, just follow the training, get on the target, get the opticals on there. I have a director operator who's sitting next to me. I'm outside. I'm hanging outside the top of it, and I had to take my helmet off. You know those, I don't know if you've seen these World War II movies where they've got these big, huge dome helmets on? That was my helmet. Well, the thing is, it's got this pad front and back, and if you turn your head real fast, it goes like this. And you can't see. So I took it off, and because my eyes were more important than the helmet. And so, but this guy had really good optics with a very narrow field of view. So once we got on it, we would crank onto it, and then we would shoot at the guns that were shooting at us. And you know what they looked like was strobe lights. At night, it just looks like a strobe light. So then we would find out that they were really shooting at us because we get splashes around us. You know, and okay, that's fine, but you know, let's get out of here. So what would happen? We would turn away and we would run. And you know, just like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, run away, run away. So we get out of there, and then we do this again like 3 or 4 times a night. So the way it worked was, okay, maybe about dusk, we set general quarters. We go do our first grade. We stand down for general quarters, maybe get a snack, go do a second general quarters, stand down again, go do a third one. So we could get 3 gunfights a night. And then during the daytime we would rearm. You would have to, you know, reload down ammunition because we've been shooting it all up, or refuel them. And so in other words, we got no sleep. Wars are fought by the sleep deprived. I figured it out once, and I think I was getting 2 hours sleep every 24 in 20-minute increments. That's what you survive on. So as time went on, they had us creeping up further and further north until we finally got up here, Brandon Bay. Brandon Bay is where is right near a city called Vinh, where Ho Chi Minh was born, and that picture there represents that particular fight. And this one was different, and the reason it was different was because we had arrived there on the 1st of May, and we had been going in and shooting every night. And on the 8th of May, they said, you're going to go in daylight. You know, I didn't like that because, of course, their spotting is a lot more accurate in daytime. And as we go in, you know, it's just really strange because they also tell us when you shoot your primary target, if they shoot back, do not return fire. Okay, well, you know, what's up with that? So, as we go in, since it's daylight, we're going into a bay. As you can see, the big curve, right? Well, the bay is like a bite out of the curve. And then there are islands north and south of the bay, which makes the bay effectively deeper. So, as we got into the bay and we started passing these islands, I could look into these caves. Island, cave. And so help me, they actually started wheeling guns out, wheeling the guns out, and started shooting. You know, and so the stuff's falling all around us now. And my director operator, who has never seen a splash before because he's been inside the director, and he has this very narrow field of view, suddenly he sees them and he says, shouldn't we be shooting back? He says, well, yeah, but, you know, we're just not going to do it, you know, we're following orders. So on the way in, I said, look, if they change their mind, if they allow us to shoot, I want to be ready to shoot.